Welcome to DreKen Talk. I'm your host, DreKen. Have you ever wondered what it felt like or what was the demands of raising a five-star athlete? Well, today in a two-part series, we're going to be with the mother of the number one offensive tackle in the nation, Zach Rice, Miss Mary Rice. And she's going to give us the ins and outs of what it is, just to how to raising a five-star athlete. So click, like, subscribe, and share. DreKen Talk, we out. What's up, and welcome to a special edition of DreKen Talk. I am your host, DreKen, and we are live from South Bend, Indiana, the home of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And today, we have a very special guest. This is Mary Rice, the mother, the backbone of the number one offensive tackle in the nation, the number 5 overall player in the nation, Zach Rice. Mary, how are you doing today?
Doing great and having a great trip down here, enjoying it to the fullest. I appreciate it.
Well, first of all, Mary, I want to thank you and thank Zach for allowing me to come on this trip with you guys. It's you guys are always your family, and we definitely appreciate you allowing us to do this. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna do something a little different from our dog edition. We're gonna go behind the scenes of where all this athleticism, all of this character of this great kid we know as the number one player in the country, Zach Rice. Mary, let's talk to us a little bit about the upbringing of yourself, because I know that you were an athlete and you played college basketball, if I'm not mistaken. And just talk to us a little bit about yourself first before we get into Zach.
Well, I was raised up. My dad played football at University of Virginia, and so he really instilled in us that if you want a scholarship, you want to go to college, well, you better get a scholarship.
Absolutely.
They won't pay him for college. So we knew we had to get out there and get it. I'm from a small town, so sports was everything. So we were encouraged heavily all our lives, and it ministered to me greatly. It brought my brother and I both full college scholarships. My brother played at Liberty, and I played at Liberty for a couple years as well. It was the best thing we ever did. It taught us so many things. So naturally, I wanted to give a piece of that back to my son. I wanted him to have some of what that brought to my life, how it inspired me, how it encouraged me, and the many benefits it brought me and blessed me with.
Yeah, Mary, and me and Mary, we've known each other for quite some time now, and Mary is the backbone of a lot of things and a lot of kids and a lot of situations. And Mary, she treats Zach like royalty, but she treats other kids the same way. So Mary, just talk to us a little bit about, before we get into talking about Zach, what is that driving motivation that makes you care so much about not only your son but other people's children as well?
It's always been what I wanted to do, is work with kids, families, adults. I started doing it when I was in college, but I always knew it's what I wanted to do. So in doing it, just the blessing that I get from helping somebody else, and it doesn't get any better than that. When they got a lot of darkness in their life, you can shine a little light. It's nothing no better than that. So I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. I want and hope that, I can do something small or say something that might encourage them or uplift them, or, even if it's just giving them a ride or taking them to a camp or doing anything to help them better their situation. I want to do that. I think we're wrong if we don't do that.
Yeah. And I'm a first-hand eyewitness of Mary treating other kids exactly like she treats Zach. I've watched her buy cleats for kids, food for kids. I've watched her do, countless of great acts for people in general. But Mary, again, you have always been a blessing to others. And I remember us talking years ago, and you brought Zach over to play, with our football team, and
Absolutely.
I remember telling you, Mary, like, get ready for the ride.
Mm,
So
you did.
again, Zach Rice, the number one tackle in the country, the number five overall player in the country, scholarship offers from every major university. He has slimmed he has cut everything down to about three teams now, 3 or 5
Well,
teams,
officially, yeah, five. It's
five
top
teams,
five.
top five teams. So basically, you guys have been on a college tour like for the last couple of months. Walk us through a little bit of that.
So as of June 1st, the dead period was over because of COVID. We weren't able to go to college as well. You could stop by unofficially on your own, but you could not have any interaction with any coaches. You couldn't go in any football facilities or anything. So, you know, you could do like an academic tour on your own or something like that. But really, what we want to dive into is the complete package because that's what matters to us. I mean, you sort of have a feel of what schools academically, you know, are sound, but you want to make sure that it's that right fit. So, you know, I want my son to feel it. I want to feel it. I want to know it in my gut, and I want to, not have any doubts about it. So as of June 1, we were able to go back in. So the dead period was over, and we could start visiting schools. So we kicked it off with June 1st, we went to UNC on an unofficial visit and spent time there like the first and the second. So one thing Zach did was he personally requested a workout with all five of his coaches on his top five teams. And so he did work out at UNC. So one thing we found out along the ride is that when it's an unofficial visit, you can work out, but when it's an official visit, you cannot work out with the coach. So why Zach requested this was he wanted to get a feel of how they coach him. This is the biggest decision of his life. So he wants to make sure whoever's going to be coaching him is going to motivate him, is going to push him. It's not going to be easy on him. Is going to make him get better. He needs that push and wants that push. So, and I appreciate and fully respect that he wants that. So, we were able to do that at a couple schools because, like I said, you couldn't do it on officials. But after June 1 at UNC and the second, we went on from there to the first weekend in June, we were at Ohio State. The second weekend in June, we were at UVA. The third weekend in June, we were at Alabama. And then this weekend right here, we're at Notre Dame.
South Bend, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mary, that's just a testament of his upbringing and a reflection of you and the great job you have done with this kid. Like I said, you've done a phenomenal job in raising this kid because you get a lot of players to get caught up in the glitz and glamour of who it is, the Alabamas, the Ohio States, the Notre Dames and things of that nature. But Zach is not caught up in that glitz and glamour. Like you said, he is looking for someone that's going to academically challenge him and have him set up for life after football. Because just like we know, Zach can play anywhere in the country. Zach will have his plenty opportunities to play at the next level, in which I'm 100% positive in my mind. Lord's will, barred from injury, creek don't rise, all that good stuff. He will be at the next level. But that one point of you and him actually basing your decision not solely on football, but on the academic and what the college can offer him academically. So, I mean, not athletically, I'm sorry, but what they can offer him academically. That's just, like I said, it's a testament to who you guys are. And just talk to us a little bit about, the upbringing with Zach.
Well, I really, I've been pretty hard on Zach. Zach says I'm really hard on him, but I don't know about that I'm really hard
He's harder
on
on the referees.
But I think it's a balance of being, when to be hard, when to push and pull a little bit as a mom. But I've really tried to encourage him to make good grades, and know that without that, none of this would be possible. Like, for example, us coming here, you know, because the end of the year transcripts just hit. They had to make sure that it's legit that he can come here. So all those things, I mean, I don't want to worry about whether that's something that can be approved. I don't want him feeling that stress of that.
Yeah.
So it is something that, you know, you have to push, you have to encourage, you got to motivate, because kids, you know, when they're ninth graders, they don't, it's hard for them to see. And I get that because of what I do. It's hard for them to think about that this day is coming.
Absolutely.
And they're going to pull those transcripts. So, but we see the big picture and know the big picture. And so what you do if it's any high school classes in the 8th grade, or what you do as a ninth grader, that is major what they look for. Because really, you're going to get your offers in the ninth grade. It's more of a move to that. Ninth and 10th grade, and sometimes 8th grade. You know, you're going to get offers. And so what you're doing in those classes matters. So, I mean, I've always encouraged that. You know, he wouldn't have privileges if he's not doing what he needs to do in the classroom. Life would not be your own car riding around, able to do the things you want to do, play your game, although he's not big on the video game, but it wouldn't be any of that. It just wouldn't be.
Well, he's a kid. He's actually a kid, you know. And I tell people all the time, like, we forget the kid is 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds. Just because he's that, we forget that he's still 16 years old. 17 years old. But the maturity level of him, and, you know, all of these accolades and all of these congratulations and all of these, you know, things like achievements, it seemed to not bother him. I mean, it's like it almost goes in one ear and out the other, and that's speaking to his humbleness. So speak a little bit about that, because I know that you are a humble person and you are a strong person, single mother, own business owner, and like I said, you did counseling services, Mary Rice Counseling Services, and you know that work ethic. I'm sure Zach saw you, and he saw that. So I'm positive that he took some of those characteristics and things that he saw that came from you, and the way how hard you work, and he applied it to his life. So let's talk about, you know, because Zach's coming up, you know. He was Under Armour All-American, you know, in the 8th grade, and he played all these other different places. So just speak to a little bit about that. What were the steps and what were the achievements and things that got us to this point?
Wow, well, you know, Zach came over when he was 8 and started playing with Elite. So we were just talking and sort of reminiscing on this. So when he's 8 years old, he, you know, playing with his team, he wins the Hill City Championship. Then he comes over with you guys, practices and plays with you guys, and wins a state championship. Then we go to nationals in Florida, playing on that stage, and I mean, I think we were in the finals of that. We didn't win it, but I mean, Lord, I can't stand not to win it.
No question, it
hurt. But I mean, at 8 years old, you're playing in the Orange Bowl. You're down there playing on such a huge stage. So from 8 years old, I mean, man, I gotta tell you how much Elite and your mentorship and coaching and encouragement blessed Zach, because I don't know honestly where he would be without Elite. It was huge to him being who he is. That's why, you know, you gotta be here for stuff like this.
I mean, you
know, you're major. You're Uncle Trey. You know, so. But I mean, with that, putting him in those places, you know, if he wasn't in those places, he wouldn't be as comfortable. You know, he saw it as I'm expected to be in those places. This is what I do. We play on big stages. We meet big people. We go in and we present ourselves a certain way. You encourage the grades too, Dre. You know, and so those kids at Elite had to turn in academic reports. They had to turn in behavior reports. All of that. And I mean, they were rewarded for that. That was encouraged and motivated on. I mean, the amount of time y'all were at schools, you know, telling kids what time it was, trying to get them back in line. I mean, I know we were doing the behavior reports because I was pulling them in myself, checking them. Where's your report this week? You know, making sure these kids get these pieces. There's pieces that add up to success, and so that's something that, you know, that I've tried to do. Elite did. We, you know, it's all a part of the big picture that these kids need, and because it's hard to go back and try to fix grades. You know, so these kids, you know, really got to take this seriously. You mentioned like single moms. You know, I really want to help and reach out. So if there's any single moms specifically, but anyone really.
See, that just let you know, like we talking about her and her son, and she's offering help. So
I want to help. You know,
that's fantastic. You know,
that need help with recruiting or need help with their kids.
That's fantastic.
You know, that's just this process is tough with recruiting.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I've had to feel my way through it. You gave me insight. I've had some great people, honestly, help me and give me insight along the way, because without that, it would have been very difficult. And I mean, it's no book that comes with this thing.
No.
So we've had to feel our way through, and it's been a challenge at times, but you know, with God's blessings, and I'm gonna tell you, with God,
yeah, that's
you know,
it.
I'm in awe. I'm just so humbled by how God has blessed my son, our family, and what He's done for us overall, and you know, it's amazing. So you got to think about your core classes, which are your math, science, history, and English. You know, and foreign language when you take that. So your harder classes, you gotta, I mean, you really need to, I mean, be careful of the seeds. These are, you can't do it. It's just not, it can't happen. So the kids have to be serious about their grades. They've gotta be motivated to do well. I mean, because every time new grades hit, it's mass transcripts going out to all these schools. They all see every grade he gets. So it's no time for mess ups. It's no time for game plan.
And you know, this again, like this whole interview was about her son, the #1 offensive tackle in the country, the #5 overall player in the country. And what is she doing? She's giving game to other kids. Like, this is who she is. This is no fronting. This is who she is. There ain't no games, ain't no playing, it ain't nothing for the camera. This is who she is. I've been trying to ask her questions about her son and what's most important to her. Not to say that Zach isn't the most important thing, but what's more important to her, or she finds that's important, is that you are giving game to the next generation.